are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
And supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
You are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome, you're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. I am Dr. Marissa, your hashtag positively opinionated host, and I'm here to welcome you to a show that has no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words. No Kanye, formerly or now known as talk, because I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end. In fact, I have 1,049 shows now for you to access with a free subscribe on my YouTube TV channel. Everything from Leave It to Beaver, Jerry Mathers to Dawn Wells, Gilligan's Island, lots of classic TV. The amazing, I have to actually, happy birthday, dear beautiful Marion Ross. You'll know her as Mrs. Cunningham from Happy Days. Happy birthday to you. She is so beautiful. You saw her in the extended promo that goes on while the NBC News is playing. 95 years young, amazing. She was just on my show again when she was 94. She came to my Sunset Gower studio in person, hashtag BC19, before COVID, when she was 89. And what a delight she is. And you can catch both of her interviews on my free subscribe. You'll get an alert every 9 a.m. morning now to come and watch it. I have a fabulous cashew gallery with one of my co-captains here today, Troy Pacelli, who he is streaming in from Chicago, and I'm sure the rest of the cashew gallery will be in shortly. I would love, but not when you're driving, for you to just settle in, free subscribe to that YouTube channel, and then you can chat away with us as we like to do. And let's see, I'll be giving away another 2 pairs of tickets to a magic show. And while Elan is getting her mama settled in, she'll be in shortly, my co-host. She's the daughter of Otis Williams, founder of Temptations. That is why this very special Friday series is called Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and Elan Carter. And I am going to pull up here what I'm giving the free tickets for, since we're gonna just give Elan a minute to settle in here, and I will share this with you. For some reason, my computer is feeling Friday, as in it's been a long and extremely busy but wonderful week. But he has a great show. He's actually on True TV on the hit series Carbonara Effect. I don't know if you're fans of that, if you've heard of that, but he will be here Friday, November 3rd. That's next week. I'll be there. I'm giving 8 pairs of tickets away this week and next week. So please do go to drmarissa.life, and that is how you're going to get the tickets. But I wanted just to show you this. He's headlining at 8. It is at the Saban Theater, which is the place where I give away the tickets. If you go to I'm going to bring it up for you and see, to show you exactly how easy it is. You just go to Dr. Marissa, just Google Dr. Marissa or Asian Oprah. My website will come up. If you scroll all the way down, you can put it here or in the pop-up. Just put your email in. If you put it in here in the subject line, just put in magic, and then you will be able to claim those tickets. I put them at will call. I just need your name and your email. And I just wanted to just show you what happens when you have a sponsor like Saban Theater and Dana, the manager, executive director of Where Music Meets the Soul. You get to go and enjoy people like Christopher Cross, which was last night. All right, buffer. Let's get this.
This says it's nice to be
This where I was last night.
We have not played here in so many years. It's nice to be back playing here. I'm 72 years old, so as Keith Richards says, he says it's nice to be anywhere. I just celebrated my 40th anniversary of my career, thanks to you and your support. I appreciate it.
I figured it out. Play the whole song. I just wanted to show you what happens when you Arthur's theme, the dancing queen. It was such a Dana. It was such a great concert. So we have arrived the princess in the studio now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I know I'm late today, but
that's okay.
Well, my mother had surgery yesterday. So then I've been sleeping in the room with her, and I had to make sure she had her breakfast and feels okay and is getting up. You know how after surgery care is, right?
Yeah.
And I was make sure she's all right. And I had to make her some breakfast this morning and then put my face on.
Well, your face looks fabulous. You ready? You ready to have breakfast?
Sure. I already had breakfast. I thought you had breakfast.
No, here we go.
Okay, I got Starbucks today.
All right, ready to have. No, I went and did a little ad for Saban Theater instead and waited for you for breakfast. So you know the drill. You've got a happy Friday, Elan Carter, from the co-captain of our cheerleading squad in the cashew gallery. Troy is here. I'm sure Orville Nation and Maria will roll in pretty soon. I would like you to have breakfast with my beautiful co-host. This is Tempting Conversations with Dr.Marissa and
Elan Carter. Good morning.
And we're going to do 8 specific things we're grateful for the top of the bun. I'm grateful for Christopher Cross, 40-year musical career. He was amazing last night. Go ahead.
I'm grateful that my mother had a safe surgery.
I'm grateful that I got to meet your mama a little over a year ago. What a beautiful woman she is.
I'm grateful that Trace introduced us. If it wasn't for him.
Yeah. I know. I'm grateful that I found out my sponsor, Dana, with Saban Theater, has the Temptations in his office poster. He doesn't have a lot. He has had probably 4,000 musical artists, but he only has like 3 or 4 posters. And I took a picture in his office and I sent it to Elan yesterday. And he was so tickled when it said, "All from you."
Thank you. That was really sweet.
It was. I just love my life. I'm grateful for life. Last one.
I'm grateful for my daughter finally doing a sport at school. It's been a long journey.
Well, is she doing track?
No, she's swimming. She's on the swim team. She's licensed. She has her license as a scuba diver. And when we lived in Maui, she swam. That's all she does. So I was like, "You're such a fast swimmer. You're so good. You need to go on the swim team."
Oh,
So anyway, those kids have been swimming for a long time. She happened to be in Hawaii for spring break, and the swim team from her school was there. And I said, "See, this is why you need to be on there so we have a free trip." So anyway, long story short, she tried out like almost 2 weeks ago, and the head of the swim team, he was like, "Oh my God," the coach is like, "She could swim this well and she hasn't been on the team." Of course, she has to learn all their stuff, but he was really surprised. He was like, "She's going to help us a lot." So I'm grateful that she finally enjoys it. That's the thing. She likes it.
Tell London I was on the swim team in high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will tell her that. I put her in track a year ago. She went to practice one day and said, "I'm not ever going back." She's like, "No."
Well, I'm glad you found something.
Yes.
And Troy said, "Great cheese."
Troy. Thank
That
you.
Well, oh, that's so nice. I just love this show and our community here.
We have great followers, and we're our peanut gallery. They're wonderful, and they come every week, and I look forward to seeing them. If I don't do the show and I say, "Oh, okay, we're not going to do the show this week," and I'm like, "Oh, but our people won't be there." So it inspires me to get up, because I don't like to get up in the morning.
It's not easy getting along to do the show. I thought when I got moved from 8 to 9 to try to bump up stuff here, that it would be easier for you, but obviously not.
Well, I'm up, but I've had things been happening lately that I've had to.
No, I'm just teasing her. I'm just teasing.
I know you're right, though, but I'm so grateful that it's 9 o'clock. That's what I should have said. I'm really grateful that we moved it up.
I'm not. I've got a lot of people that are like, "What happened? What did you stop doing the show?" I'm like, "No." Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that. But I am going to go to the bottom of the button, which is, what do you like about yourself? And the reason why I do this is my BS, my belief system that mental health, which we all need to take responsibility for, begins with self-care, self-love, self-approval. And frankly, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect other people to approve of you or like you? And I don't want you walking around looking for likes. Literally, I want you to feel good that you are awesome 88% of the time. So what do you like about yourself? Co-host, take it away. You start.
I have a BS radar.
Yes, you do.
I see it. I can smell it. I can smell it like a mile away. Don't come at me with your BS. I'm like, "Oh, here we go." I'll let you hang yourself. I'll let you just talk and then go, "Okay." If I go quiet, that means I know that you're BSing me.
Oh, good to know.
Yes.
You're rarely quiet around me, so I must not be BS.
That means I go, "Oh, okay." Young kids bet. That's their thing. If they do something, you're pissed them off, they go bet. I don't say bet, I just go quiet.
So Elan appreciates that she's got a really good nose for BS. I appreciate that I am a good BSer.
Oh my Lord.
It's going to be one of those shows. Okay, your turn.
I appreciate that I am very spiritual. I feel things. So which probably coincides with my BS radar, because I'm very intuitive.
Yeah. I appreciate that I'm very sensitive, which means that I'm very creative. There's a very high correlation between the two. So that's 2.
Okay.
One more.
I'm not sensitive. I mean, I am sensitive to a point, but I'm a little bit like you can throw things at me, and I guess from modeling, and it just like I'll throw it back at you like a boomerang. Like if you insult me, I'm like, okay, that's the best you can do, and I just kind of let it roll off. Like when people do that and they think it's they're really getting to me, I just think it's funny. I'm like, I was model, right? So the kind you hear stuff. I mean, they're so bold. You hear stuff on a daily basis, so things like that people say it doesn't really faze me. There has to be really something major to bother me. You have to do something to bother me, because if you say things, I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's what you think.
Which is great for me, because if someone, does something to me, or, shift happens, she's the one to call, because as soon as I call her, she just lets it out, and then we're done. And she she always sides with me, which is always good too.
I told you when you were not right. I've told
That's
you.
true. That's true.
I will call you and say, listen, look at it that way. You did this, which created that. I don't not go up, not fight with you, but I'll tell you your actions cause that reaction. And so sometimes, even with me, I don't realize that my action caused the reaction, and I could have handled it differently. And so I'll just say, look, maybe because of this is why you got that reaction, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting comfortable. I'm on my couch. I'm actually
okay. I'm like, where
house instead of a chair. Yeah. So anyway, I feel silly this week. I've had a crazy.
That's what we're gonna.
I've had a BS week. And so I've had to get rid of all the BS this week. So now it's Friday. I'm done. I'm throwing everything in the trash. All the trash, they're going down the chute. You know how old fashioned back in the day, our parents had some people had those buildings with the incinerator. I remember my grandma having an apartment and had an incinerator. It just brought me back to that. And we would have to walk down and put it in the incinerator. I remember that.
That's a good analogy for stuff in life that you don't like. Just put
it in the incinerator.
Don't keep sorting it, and
no. The incinerator is better, and I just had an epiphany, because the trash, they take the trash out and it goes to different places. If you put it in an incinerator, it just done. Burn you and done. We're
burn,
done.
baby, burn.
Disco and burn. I can't.
Troy has the last appreciation on the table. I appreciate the ability to leave work behind at the end of the week and enjoy the weekend. That's awesome. I love my work, so I never leave it behind, it seems, but I enjoy it. So it is actually my best friend these days. But I don't want to go in that direction. Here we go. Thank you very much for having breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter this morning.
You someone else some other morning? No, anyway, we are.
Yeah, my alter personality. I don't have an alter personality. See is what you get. I'm just me.
Yeah, we're being silly this morning, but thank you for taking a bite of our gratitude sandwich. I promise if you do this for 28 consecutive days, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Uh-oh.
She's like, why is she
frozen? Am I frozen on there?
No, you're not.
Okay. So on my end of my computer, it's doing weird things, but I think it's just feeling like it's Friday. The computer is. But if you've just tuned in wondering what's going on today, it is Take My Advice. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, especially my YouTube TV channel where we get to chat. I see the eyeballs rolling in. I haven't gotten any fingers yet. You know how I like you to give me the finger, not
This
that
finger.
one, that one. But I'm sure we will get more. What are we tempted to talk about today, co-host of the year? What do you
Well, I
want to
like that. Co-host of the year. I don't know. What are we going to talk about? I haven't even thought about it today.
Well, let's talk about garbage since we started, because what you just mentioned on burning garbage, I have a garbage analogy too, which is, and I've like literally, I love part of my work. I have like 8 streams of income. So I have 8 separate things that I do that I love to do. And one of them is happiness coaching and / executive coaching. So I work with companies as an organizational psychologist. And one of the things that I love doing is working with leaders. And I coach them just like happiness coaching, except we focus on your ability to be effective at work. And a lot of leaders who are very successful have shoved down their garbage from the past because they are high achievement oriented people, they're perfectionists, they're control freaks, recovering, and they say, can't change the past, so don't deal with it. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps and keep going, which works for a while. But what happens to garbage when you press it down? It turns into liquid. And then if you press down the liquid, it turns into gas. And what happens with a lot of my clients is midlife opportunity, not midlife crisis, but midlife opportunity. They're like, I'm not happy, right? Or I'm not, this isn't enough. Like being successful at work is great, but is that it? And then they start feeling really emotional. They go out and buy Corvettes or, it's that midlife buy. And it's a chance for them to really, do you hear that in the background? Should I shut the window? Do you hear anything? You're good? Okay.
I heard it a couple times.
Okay. So what they do is then, they'll cry and not be able to stop, or they become really irritable, like menopause is the woman's side. I call it IMS on the men's side, irritable man.
It is really a name for menopause. The mental, they go through it. They go through the same thing because your chemistry in your body changes, and you're still young. In your mind, you're still young. I still feel young, but you are not really young to society, right?
Right.
So you're at the age where people are going to start kind of pushing you to the side because you're not the young, hipster, cool person, right?
Yeah.
So then people start grasping like, hey, pay attention to me. I'm not getting any attention. And then that's when they start doing outlandish stuff. And I think men, women have their beauty and their youth to rely on. Men are used to being successful and still be handsome, but still you're at the age where no matter how handsome you are, unless you're some celebrity superstar, and still, I know because I was that girl in my 20s, you still are much older man, and a young model hot woman that you want is not interested. She wants someone her age, but she will settle for someone who's successful. So it's like both parties, both genders want that attention. Do I still have it? Am I still cool? Instead of living in the now and who you are and being happy for what you have and grateful and finding just a nice person. You get to the age where you don't have the same interests as you did when you're young anyway. So how are you going to keep up with somebody 20? I go out all the time with Trace and at some of the clubs and events, and I just sit there and go, I just don't have, I was on the clubs all the time. I have no desire to do this again. But anyway, we were out like a week ago and this guy's talking to me and he asked me and I said, oh, well, that's my son. I manage him. And he goes, you're the mom in the club. I was like, no, I'm his manager. He goes, you're the mom. I said, you can make fun of me until the cows come home. I really don't care. I said, I'm not offended, but I hope that makes you feel good to try to front me. And he started laughing. He goes, no, you just don't look like the mom in the club. I just don't want you to say that. I said, but I don't have a problem with that. That's the problem. I think that you get to a certain age, you still want to be that cool person, but that's how people look at us. And so I started laughing because I'm very okay with that. I know that's how they're looking at me. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's my analogy for people who are just like at that age where you have to feel the need for it's what do we say? You not the appreciation. I have mommy brain today. You want to still admire you.
I like you. Right.
Right. And why do you need to be validated? You should be secure with yourself that you don't need validation from people.
Yeah, and there, 7 out of 10 of us have had some kind of childhood trauma and or pain. And my point with the garbage disposal is you can bury garbage as long as you want, but at some point it's going to come back and bite you because the gas leaks out if you don't deal with stuff. Maybe you were bullied, maybe you were abandoned, maybe you were betrayed, whatever it is that you haven't dealt with will come back and deal with you. And that's when I get to, I don't put them on my couch or anything. It's not therapy, but it is coaching in, is there something from the way that you coped with that thing may have worked for you then, but it's not working for you now. So some people overachieve to get that approval because they don't feel worthy, right? But after a while, that's not going to do it. You got to figure out to go back into that pain one more time. That's my model. Go back in it one more time, deal with it, disinfect it, and then realize that all the bad shiitake that happened to you was actually to help you, chisel you into a beautiful sculpture. And that's the work I get to do. And so it's really interesting.
I think what you're saying is totally true. I think we all have trauma. I have things when I was a kid that I just thought was kind of wrong on so many levels. And I acknowledge that. But the problem is, it's not that people don't know. They don't want to. They're in denial about it. It's not because you don't know. You're in denial. And if you're in denial, then you can't grow because you won't achieve anything because you won't acknowledge that this happened to you. This happened to you. This hurt my feelings. This made me feel a certain kind of way. I can look at things and go, hey, that made me feel a certain kind of way. That hurt my feelings. I would be the first one to say when I was modeling and doing all my acting stuff, my father wouldn't help me at all. It would have taken anything for him to pick up the phone. And I did well, but I did it on my own. It would have taken nothing for Otis to call and say, hey, help my daughter. So many people in entertainment. Not one time did he call and help me. So I've always been on him. And I think he feels a little guilty by that. That's why he helps Trace, right? And I've told him, I said, you didn't help me go to school and graduate. I went back to school in my 30s and got my degree. You didn't pay for my school. You didn't help me graduate. You didn't come to my graduation. I acknowledge that and I call him out on it because I'm the kind of person that hurt my feelings. And I want you to know that was really not nice. I remember this is being spoiled, but I had cars, right? And I wanted this one particular, I'm not even going to say, because I'm going to sound like a brat. I wanted this one particular car. And he was like, I'm not going to get that for you. And I was like, okay, well, I'll pay for it, but just help me get it. No. And he told my mom, don't you help her get it. And I was like, okay, I can show you better than I can tell you. And because he was the way he was, I achieved everything I wanted because he just made me angry, right? It just pissed me off that he wouldn't help at all. So I went and got the car, came home, and he was more mad. He's like, okay, you get out now. So then he puts me out. I'm telling you, I'm airing out the dirt. He puts me out the house when I'm like 22 years old, 23. I probably should have moved out, but he was always on tour and I was close to my mom. I was like, why should I move out? I had a nice house. I didn't want to move. So anyway, he throws me out the house over something really stupid. It really was because he's mad because I had this brand new convertible Porsche.
You got the car. What color was it? What color was it?
I had two, but the first one was white interior with a blue convertible top. So I come home with a Carrera. I didn't have the small one. I had the top of the line Porsche that I bought myself. So he's like, well, if you can have that, you can move out. Okay. Whoa. So my feelings were hurt. I was so hurt. It's the way he put me out because I didn't do anything wrong, right? He put me out. It really hurt me that he did that. And so I got put out the house and then I went and bought a nice fancy townhouse. So then he says to my mom, and I just like, how am I going to figure it out? But I have to say, I have been blessed. I have been blessed. I have ancestors that look out for me. So then he asked my mom, because I wasn't speaking to him. Like I would get mad. This is when I was young. I would get so mad at him. I wouldn't talk to him. Like I wouldn't talk to him for 6 months or a year. I'd be so pissed off. I'm like, I'm not speaking to him. I'm stubborn. So he asked my mom one day to go to see it. And I was so mad at her because she took him over my house. And I have brand new furniture. I had a brand new townhouse. It was 2 stories, separate quarters. He's like, really? So he knows. So now today, when him and I get into it, I can show you better. I could tell you. And then when him and I, because I deal with it. So what I have to remind him is, you've had 37, 38 members in the Temptations. I am not one of your members. You can't tell me what to do and treat me like I'm one of your people you tell what to do. And so people in the group, like his assistant, because him and I get into it, he goes, you know what? They have a special kind of relationship and they get into it all the time. And him and I, he respects me now though, because no one stands up to him because Otis is the boss of the group. I'm the only one that stands up to him. And they just have to sit back and go, oh, okay, she's mad at him. So now it's kind of, because we actually have a special bond now. Like we get into it. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. Goodbye. And so he waits for me to cool off and then he calls me back. So actually me being hurt by the things he did has created a special bond now.
Well, we have a witness to all of this in the chat.
Oh, there's Goldie. She knows. Goldie's about it. Oh, she feels well enough to come on. She's watching.
So happy. You've got fans here too. Look at this, Mama. Troy, who's the co-captain of the Cashew Gallery here, said that she was great. He was grateful to hear you doing well, has been thinking about you. And we're getting some laughs now from her. I'm glad you're well enough to listen and you can validate this story. I can just imagine. So for those of you,
did he kick me out? He kicked me out because I came home with a brand new Porsche, didn't he? Testify to it.
Now this is.
I had to work. Just think, I had to work really hard though, because he said no. That made me work harder to get what I got, because I was like, really? Okay, watch this. And so with my kids, I'm the same way. See, Goldie said confirmed.
Yeah,
it made me work harder.
So you're getting some inside information here, folks. This is
a lot of Otis stories.
This is great.
He was not easy as a father at all. What people think, because I grew up with him, it was glamorous. He was not easy on me. He was actually very difficult. We didn't get closer until I got older because I felt that he was mean. He was mean.
Mean. Okay.
Well, because so you talk about childhood trauma, and I've never brought this up to you. And the thing is, he's very hard because he's old school, and he didn't grow up with money. He grew up in a, like, if you see this, the play, which is coming, I'm going to take you to see the play. The play's coming.
Oh, yay!
So if you see the play, you will understand how he grew up. So he doesn't have that kind of thing where you should do for your kids because you have it. He has that, well, it makes you a better person if you get it on your own. I'm like, well, sometimes you need a helping hand. And he doesn't think like that, right? He doesn't think you're supposed to provide for your kids, which I'm the complete opposite. Anything I can give my kids, I'm giving it to them. I will sacrifice whatever I have to make sure my kids have better than me. My son has a better wardrobe than I do by far. I'm going to start wearing his clothes. I'll just be androgynous. I'll be androgynous Elan.
Let's get it down as a quote on the show. My son has a better wardrobe than I do. And you have a very nice wardrobe. So, like, that's saying something, which means I'm going to go in there too. Auntie Marissa's coming over for your clothes too. Although I will have to lose another 10 sizes. But anyways, so here, if you've tuned in, I think you know already Troy for sure. But some people, I see eyeballs that aren't identifying. If you don't know why this series is called Tempting Conversations, it's because you see this lovely co-host is the daughter of Otis Williams, who is the founder still performing at 81. The Temptations.
He's
really,
on tour right now. He's
the
literally
most-
on tour now.
Is he on tour now? Oh, okay.
He's on.
It's like the number one. I don't know anybody. Like, it has spanned the ages. Like, I'll say to I'm going to a Christopher Cross concert. Nothing against Christopher Cross, but like half the people will go, don't know the name. You see Temptations, it doesn't matter how old you are, everybody knows the name. So that is kudos to your dad's business acumen that allowed him to continue. So that hardness that you're talking about, it has benefits and consequences. And, you know, the way that I work through past pain with my clients, the way I did it with me, I learned it from my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who says, let's say you can't change. Oh, obviously you couldn't change the way your dad was. You couldn't change the way he was with you.
Right.
So let's say, since you can't change it, was there anything developed in you as a direct result of his hardness? Like,
yes.
Right? And do you like that about yourself?
Yes.
You just proved the efficacy of my approach to past pain, because you can be mad and pissed at someone for being who they were, and you wish they were somebody else or nicer or whatever, or kind, or didn't, in my case, beat me or call me fat, ugly. Because I can spend my entire life feeling sorry for myself and being pissed off and never wanting to see her and all of that. Or I can choose to say, you know, yeah, it probably would have been nice if I had a mom that was like always saying how wonderful I am. But as a direct result, I'm whom I am. And I like myself 88% of the time. And your kick-assedness is developed from, did I just get, Rick's going to have to, I made that term up. Usually it's a line.
Don't start tooting online. Don't start tooting on the show. Because you know we're gonna put it on the internet and it's gonna go viral.
I know the FCC. Okay, but anyways, because
you're allowed to do that, I don't think there's a restriction of gas.
Okay,
watch
right.
this is okay.
Thank you. We'll find out. He's a good businessman.
That's what I was gonna say, Mom.
To be excellent in business from him. Of course, I'm not that either.
She had to put her 2 cents in. Let's toot Goldie's horn. Yay, Goldie! Well, you know what? He actually probably Black Kris Kardashian. When I meet Kris Kardashian, she's gonna say, "What's your name?" I'm gonna say, Black Kris Kardashian.
You know,
she's Black Kris Jenner. She's not Kardashian. What is she Kardashian? I can't keep up with names.
I know. Not the one that
Jenner, but she is the Black Kris. I'll be the Black Kris Jenner. She's Jenner. But what I was gonna say is, my mom said it before I was gonna get it out because I wanted you to finish. I learned business from him. He's taught me how to take care of business. He's an excellent businessman. He's definitely, because growing up in the house and having him as a celebrity father and learning and having people really kind of use me just to come over, because when I was young, I had so many celebrities come to my house because they were our friends and they would just come over. It was normal life for me, but people wanted to hang out with me. Certain girls wanted to be my friends because I had friends that were always just dropped by my house. It took a long time for me to learn that people were using me, right? So I had to learn that. And he did teach me. He'd always say, look, watch out for this. And I didn't understand why it was so hard, because he knew that people had an agenda. So I'm really good at spotting people that don't have good intentions because of him, because that's just how I grew up. And because he runs the group, people think, oh, he's just one of the guys. He actually is the group. Because of that, he's taught me that. The only downside to him as a parent, and, you know, he has his biological son got killed, unfortunately, at a very young age. He's just not normal. Yeah, he has a son that you'll see the play. His son got killed at I was 7. I remember it was horrific at 17 and he was like 23. it was a really bad accident. But the thing is, he's not nurturing. He wasn't nurturing with him. He wasn't nurturing with me. That's just not who he is. So I've learned to accept that he's not nurturing. He's gotten much better as his birthday is coming up this week. He's gotten much better as he's gotten to this age. He's really good with the kids. He's really good with my kids, totally opposite. And I think as he's gotten older, he's grown to the point where he knows that he needs to have a bond with someone because his bond is the stage. That's all he knows. He's doing it since 17. So he can't relate to everyday issues with a child because he didn't have to raise a child because his child was raising 4 guys. That's basically what he did because those guys in the group were children. The stuff he put out, a lot of stuff that he doesn't even tell that's in the book, a lot of stuff they didn't tell that's in the play. I mean, I know all the juicy stuff. And for their families, he won't tell. But, basically, he just was a babysitter and he had to run the guys. And so, when people say to me, oh, yeah, but your dad's so much older and the group this and that, Temptations are older. I'm like, he's still successful and running a business 60 years later. How many other, like Smokey Robinson too, how many other celebrities have that longevity? It's nice to have the success when you're 20s and 30s, but let's see if you're going to have it when you become older and a senior citizen.
Yeah, there's no question. There's no question.
Right. That's not a put down. That's a blessing, which goes back to the businessman, but he's very shrewd and he's taught me to be very shrewd because I've been.
I have to show you this because I will wear these. Wait. I'll wear these glasses and every week someone will say, are you the mom? Like Kardashian mom. I think her name is Kris Jenner. Right? So, no, are you Chris? And I'll look at them and I go, do you need your eye checked? Like I'm Asian.
I'm gonna get the glasses and a wig. I'm gonna get a short hair wig and I'm gonna wear the glasses and I'm gonna be like,
so yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah,
watch this show. She's gonna be like, look at these people trying to impersonate me. You know what? I met her one time. She came to Byrne's birthday party. And there was a group of people. One of the women I was talking to, she was standing there. So,
that's Bernadette, who's married to Sugar Ray, right?
So they've been friends for a long time. So when she had her birthday party, she did come. She came, they've been friends. So she wasn't pretentious at all. So of course we have our idea, what we think of her, what they look like. And I was this close in her face. And I have to tell you, I don't know what she's done. She looked amazing. Like she's flawless in person. This was like maybe 6 years ago. So pretty. I was just trying to see if she looked like she's been done. She didn't at all. She looks really good. I was like, wow, she's a very pretty woman. So whatever she's doing, it's good work. Because she looks good. So I just wanted to say that. I was up in her face and she was actually very nice. So I know people have what they say. She didn't know me from Adam. She was actually very sweet.
Well, thank you, Goldie Mama, for the compliment. And I will then take it as a compliment if I get mistaken for the Kardashian mom.
She's a pretty woman. That's what I'm telling you. She's very beautiful. So that's that is not, if anyone says anything about them, you can't say that they're not pretty. So you can take that as a compliment if someone says you look like them.
I will do that. If you've just tuned in wondering what's going on today, it is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. Very special Friday series called Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter,
who is the daughter of the good businessman, not so touchy-feely Papa.
We're talking about him right now.
We've been talking about. Yeah,
I can't say all the dirt, but you know what I will say? He's actually very funny. So he has these Otis isms, he calls them. He says he's going to do a book, and he says these one-liners, and they're so old school and country. I was like, where did you get? Where did you get sayings from? He says really funny stuff. So he does have a funny side.
Well, I noticed that Mama has not done any dirt on Otis, her husband, at all. So we will keep that.
I'll say the dirt. She won't say it.
I know, which is
well.
really, I'm very impressed with that. I'm always impressed when exes do not talk badly about their exes. I think that is.
Oh, you know what? He calls all day, every day. He called 3 times yesterday, making sure she was okay because she had surgery. So they don't have this kind of relationship.
I saw the way he looked at her the last time, Trace. I don't know if Elan told you this, Mama. I watched him because she pulled me to the dance floor to dance with her. Golden did, your mama. So we were dancing and the show was over. This was at the Troubadour. And he was walking out with his entourage and he saw Goldie and he stopped and the look on his face was just like love. That's all I could say. It's just like, oh, like he looked like a fan or something. Like, everybody else is like, oh, Otis Williams. And like he looked at your mom like the same look, like, it was so cute. And your mom's like, oh, hi. Like completely nonplussed. Oh, it's you. No, I'm just kidding. Very nice. And,
like, yeah, whatever. His shenanigans.
Yeah. But it was.
I mean, I have to give her kudos. We have a totally different personality because she dealt with a lot being with a celebrity. And I dated celebrities. I just don't have the personality because I'd probably kill them in their sleep. I don't have the personality. I'm trying not to take that. I'm not trying not to jack up the one that I have.
You are so real. You are so real. Like
because they have this entitlement that they can do what they want. And so anyone that I've dated has been like, she's crazy, which I will own that. Don't mess with her because she's crazy because she's not going for it. I was like, if I find out that's your butt, like I know what you do, but don't let me.
Yeah.
I just don't have the personality for it. And my mom's been very kind. And I've said to him many times, you better be glad that you were married to my mom. It wasn't me, because I swear your butt would have been grass a long time ago. And he goes, yeah, I know. You just go off. But I'm doing business now. He calls my mom. Tell her to be calm and don't go off on people. I'm like, look who's talking. He's so mean. He's fired guys in the group by fax when fax was the big deal.
Oh, wow. Really? That's so funny.
He's cold. And whenever, you know what else he does? I'll tell one other thing. When he's ready to get rid of somebody, he brings a new person on and he has them backstage behind the curtain learning all the songs. So when that person he wants to get rid of and he fires them, that person's going to be there the next day. That's what he does.
I hope
so
he does
a new person hanging around. Yeah, if they see a new person hanging around the group, you better, that's not just a fan. He's hired them. They're behind the curtain singing, Papa was a Rolling Stone. I'm the horse today.
Well, I had a crush on that new bass guy that he hired, who's
yeah, he's handsome, huh? He's the original guy in the play in New York. He's young. That's why you like him. He's in his 30s. He's a young dude. I like him a lot. He's so sweet. He was in my mom said, don't talk no more. He was in she doesn't want me to tell everything. He was in the original Broadway play. And so he was so good and he was so close to Melvin's character that I said to him, I go, you should get one of the guys when they were looking for somebody. Why don't you pull one of those guys? And he did.
Oh, he's missing an IMB. Oh, that's interesting. You can tell him that.
Yes. I remember that. He's like, he's missing that credit. I have to tell him. His people are probably not on top of it.
There you go.
I do have a plug that has nothing to do with that. How much time we have that I'm doing with Trace that I want to launch soon.
Go ahead.
So, we have our Together All Protected, right? Anti-bullying tap. So we have everything up and ready. And so what we're going to do is kind of launch something softly. What I want to do is have some kids that are being bullied write letters into Trace, and we'll do it every quarter. So it won't be, some of the kids won't miss out. And some parents are working, or it's a single mom and they can't afford to have a animal. So we're going to do a furry friend to a kid who is being bullied, who wants maybe a cat or a dog, whatever they want. And we're going to do a GoFundMe so that kid has a year of financial commitment to take care of the animal. So, you know, when they come home and they have no one to play with and no one's being nice to them, they can have a furry friend. So that's going to be our next thing. So maybe we could do a show about the having some kids write in, or anyone that they know that their kids being bullied, send some stuff in for the campaign. And now we have the website up.
Definitely. First.
And one more thing, Trace has a show that's going to be coming out about anti-bullying. So,
yay!
Yeah, so we're going to launch that too. So not only that, we're going to be doing a show about it. So
awesome. That's great. I already gave him the Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award for that. I have to give him one like almost every week, because I would not have met you if it had not been for Trace, and thereby Mama Goldie, and thereby also he's the reason I got the backstage interview with your dad and the group. You know, there was nobody waiting in the wings learning. So that group is intact.
Yep. Chris did that. I didn't even know. And he just like, oh, I'm going to go talk to her. And I'm like, who's that lady with that nice outfit on? And I like that hair. It was all about the outfit. So he has another show coming up too on November 17th at the Met again.
November 17th. Is he at the Met again? That's a fun place. Yeah, the Mint.
That's fun. I like that place because they have booths, they have food. That's a really cool place to go.
Yeah. And
it's more intimate.
We're dancing fools too. Goldie, you better get your dancing shoes on. We're going to be dancing at the Mint again. That's so fun. And Cousin Bonita is going to have to.
Yes, she just got her cast off her foot.
Yeah. She did?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Love you too. She says we're having a good show.
We're glad that you feel well enough to come on here and watch.
I know. I'm so. If you
must have worn off.
Must have.
But I'm glad she's feeling better.
Yeah.
My dog. Literally, I slept with my mom last night, and you know we have the little black dog. The little baby Lou gets and snuggles next to her. My huge Afghan. I'm like, don't want him to come and sneak. We put him out because he's so big, right? He snuck up and got on the bed this morning and got right in the middle and snuggled up and laid next to her and put his head on her chest. It was so sweet.
Dogs know.
He's big as a horse. He's so huge, but he was very careful.
He was very careful. When I come over, he'll come right up to me. And I'm not going to tell you where his nose lines up with on me, but he is so big.
He's so big.
And there's lots of love there. And we're going to be out of time in a minute. So I would like you to have the final word.
We'll do more Otis stories because I have lots of juicy stories. If anyone wants to hear any temptation scoop, just don't tell him I'm telling this on the show. We'll talk.
He's actually
scooping out other people. I may have to talk in code though, and so I can't close them. You can figure it out.
Yeah, and I'm so encouraged she's here. Let her know that his wife.
Thank you, Troy.
Thanks, Troy. You give Orville Nation and Maria a little say to why they were MIA today. They missed Goldie in the house. But anyways, I'm so grateful that we all are here. I love y'all and I love my life. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best weekend ever. And